Hello everyone, this is FlatLine, and today I'm going to be doing a PvT analysis. I'm going to be covering up just a game I played today. I haven't made any YouTube videos, I actually don't know exactly what to do. There's really not any new builds that I've seen so far that I like, so I haven't really done any new builds. And I really haven't thought of any other projects I want to do. I know there's that replay analysis. I guess this will be something like that. So I guess I'll just name this a replay analysis. Okay, so I9 Scout, I see that he went gas first. And you don't really need to 9 Scout to see this, but if you do know that they're going for gas first, if you don't know, I'm just going to pause it real quick. If you don't know, when if you scout Terran, let me just gather up my thoughts here. If you scout Terran at your gateway, like you do a gateway scout, or 13 scout if you want to say it that way, you should be able to see his timing of his barracks and his gas. Now, the difference between them is that his barracks should be around, his barracks would be later than your gateway, if you want gas first. Because that's 75 minerals early in the game that could have been to barracks, right? So that's why his is going to be a little bit later if you do a 13 scout. Now see, I went for a 14 gateway, and that's because I 9 scouted. So our timings of the our buildings here are pretty much the same. I actually finished mine a little bit quicker than him. So yeah, it's still even if I 9 scout, my gateway finishes before his barracks, and that's generally not the case. In PvT, generally their barracks should be started before their gateway. Alright, so I see the factory being built. I also see a marine on the way. So this means non-Hellions. If you do see a reactor being placed on the barracks instead of making the marine, he basically wants to swap off the factory with his barracks so he can get 2 Hellions out, and around 5 minutes and 20 seconds in game time, his Hellions should be near your base. So you generally want to have some way of defending this ramp or blocking this ramp so his Hellions doesn't get inside his base. You also want to make sure you, like I said, reiterate, you want to make sure he has the factory being built inside his base. If you don't see a factory being built inside his base and you know he went gas first, it's going to be a proxy factory. And you can see the starport going down. So what is the response to gas first for Protoss? In my opinion, the best reaction is to get a very quick Stargate. Basically, after your cyber's done, get the Stargate out. Once you see the gas first build, you want to try to get 2 gas immediately and put 3 guys in each gas as well. Since I saw that it wasn't a Hellion build, it wasn't the reactor Hellion, I'm going to be a little bit more aggressive with the Stalker, because you want to kind of poke in front to see if he is going to play a little bit aggressive with his initial Widow Mine and his initial Marines here. So once I reach past about almost a little bit halfway on the map, and I don't see him going across the map with those units, then I know, okay, he's gonna just wait until he has medevacs out. And by the time this Phoenix gets to his base, you should be able to hit his medevac. Unfortunately, for him, his starport was a little bit delayed because of my harass at the barracks here when I killed his SV. So it's a little bit later than usual, but there it is. So you see how he boosts? He just wasted a boost there, so it's going to be a lot later for him to reach my base with the medevac. You see it, and you're just going to harass back at your base. You want to get your Nexus. You kind of want to just stop making probes once you have 18 probes and 3 in each mineral line, 3 in each gas. You can stop making probes, so you should be able to get an expansion around like 30 supply-ish, 32 supply. You want to get 2 stalkers, and you just want to make sure you're constantly chrono boosting out your phoenixes, and get up to about 4 phoenix. 4 phoenix is the magic number because you can fit 4 Widow Mines, you can fit 4 Hellions inside the medevac itself, so you should be able to lift them up. As so, I do see his Widow Mine here. I'm not going to even try to engage it. I'm going to be getting my robo and my extra gates as well. I do have my natural. He hasn't done any damage. Remember, when you go for gas first builds like this, they have to do some kind of damage if you expand pretty quickly in the game. The fact that he hasn't done any damage to me whatsoever. Go look at the worker count. It's a little bit even. The difference is his command center is back inside his main, and I've been having my natural this entire time. So this should change pretty soon here. I was just a little bit hesitant on making the probes because, like I said, not really sure what's going on here. So the other thing I want to talk about is the Phoenix. You see, I'm not really being active with the Phoenix. I'm not going on his side of the map because there is still that slight chance that he still might want to try for a drop. So I'm just trying to play super safe here and wait for this. Basically, I'm gonna wait for an observer, which should be able to substitute for the Phoenix. The Phoenix is there not only to kill off the medevacs and harass them, but also to lift up the Widow mines so you can, kill them off. But with the observer here with blood tunnel recharge, I should be fine against drops. So now I'm gonna be able to move out with my Phoenix and scout around. Alright, back at his base, he's been going with he's gonna transition into bio here, getting his +1. You can see that worker difference now. You can see it's huge, the 10 worker difference. And I'm gonna get a very quick third. I'm gonna get a Twilight Council immediately. And it should be adding on a couple more gates as well. And I'm just gonna harass wherever I can. You generally want to pick up SCVs whenever you can, but if you see a mule just being thrown down you can lift up that mule and he just wasted that skin. Like if he threw it down like that and you saw it just land, you pick it up and kill it, and that's well worth it. But you generally want to just go for SCVs. Okay, so I'm going to pause it here. So we want to talk a little bit more about the Twilight Council. Now when you get a very quick third against Terran, that's generally very uncommon in this matchup because of the threat of the strength of the bio in the mid game, and the threat of the drop is significantly stronger compared to Wings of Liberty because of the boost. So you have to take in account of Terran's mobility. If I didn't have these Phoenixes, remember, I only went Phoenix, I only went Stargate into Phoenix because he went gas first. If he did a Reaper expand, I probably wouldn't have done this build. Because I have Phoenixes out on the map, they're still alive, I'm going for charge. Now if I don't have these Phoenixes, which would be unfortunate, like if they were doing the Reaper expand, I went for a quick third, I would go for blink. Why would I go for blink? Because the weakness to my build will be mobility. I need to make sure I'm mobile, and to be more mobile I need Blink Stalkers. Blink Stalkers are okay against mid-game army bio with some immortals and sentries with Guardian Shield. Should be able to deal with the bio from a Terran here. I'm gonna go up to 6 gates and adding on my 7th and 8th as well. I'm gonna go up to 6 gates whenever you do a third base, and then you want to get your 7th and 8th gateway a little bit later, but pretty soon. Because what you want to do, the situation, I'm not teching. That's the other thing I want you to realize. If you want to go for a very quick third against Terran, be my guest. It's not the easiest way to play it. I would actually prefer, if you're lower leagues, to go for a 2 base passive style, Colossus into a third. That's probably better for you. But if you do want to play around in the PvT matchup because you just want to try something to be more refreshing, you could try this very quick third and just try to figure out what you could do to change up your build to win the game every time you lose, because you will lose quite a bit doing this style because it's really hard to pull off. Okay, so going back, what was I saying? Low tech. You want to stay on low tech in this if you're doing the third base, because imagine if you went Colossus, right? That's 300 minerals, 200 gas, That's another 200 minerals and 200 gas for the robotics bay as well. You also have to take into account the time for it to be built for both, not only the Colossus but also the robotics bay. That takes a lot of time, right? And you know, you're gonna lose 300 and 200 out of your army. You're gonna have a very small army. Colossus only excel the bigger their army it is, because it has more units to buffer while it deals damage. If you only have 6 units with the Colossus can be vulnerable because the Terran could just stem and focus fire it. You want to have it where you have so many units that they can't really focus fire it with their ground army. That's the idea behind the Colossus. So what about Storm? Storm is the same way. You have to get the Templar Archive. You have to get Storm. You gotta make sure your High Templars have enough energy. And even if you do have that, and you have some, you know, probably about a little bit less of this, not as bad as the Colossus because High Templars are a little bit cheaper, you're still gonna have problems because all Terran has to do is dodge the Storm. Once you place the Storm, it's not like a Colossus where it's gonna attack another time as long as it's alive. You have to wait for 75 energy to come up with the, for the High Templar to cast another Storm. So once you give up those Storms and they don't work, and they dodge them, you're in deep trouble, right? So it's pretty much why I don't really go for that. Instead, you want to just stay on heavy bio army, gateway army, with some mix of immortals. I haven't made any immortals yet. The reason why I didn't make any immortals is because he's been heavy on marines. If I had scouted him to be with these immortals here, then I would be making my, these marauders here, I would be making my immortals. Until then, I'm not doing that. Okay. I'm gonna let the kill this off, and I'm gonna pause this right here. Actually, no, not right here. Right here. Okay. So there's pretty much 2 options actually there's 3 options Terran can do. Now Terran can go, one of the options is to stem and try to kill this Nexus off at the cost of losing a lot of units, including his medevac. Is that worth it for Terran? Or is it worth it for me? Losing a Nexus for this. It's pretty good for me, right? Now, let's say he wants to go for the second option. Let's say he wants to just retreat. He wants to run everything back. Is that good for him? Maybe, maybe not. Because of the force fields, I don't see how that's gonna happen. And my my Phoenix should be able to chase down the medevac, but obviously I won't chase him if his Marines are under it, because you don't want to lose your Phoenixes for nothing. Oh, wait, the third option. The third option is for him to just focus fire my army and try to kill as many sentries or whatever units he can. That will probably be his best option. Look how many sentries I have. Each of them are 100 gas each. So, my opinion, that's what he should have done. Is just diminish my army. Because he knows this army is pretty much trapped here. The photon overcharged with some pretty good forces. It's going to lose quite a bit. So, in this trade-off or in this engagement, that was a pretty good win for me. And he doesn't have a third base behind this. So he's pretty far behind. He knows he has to do some kind of damage here. I don't like where my forge is. That's another thing I want to talk about is SimCity or building placements. You want to make sure the important tech, the important upgrades or important buildings, they need to be in a safe location. I only put it here because generally I want them right here. But I don't have any pylons that's powering around here, so that was pretty bad by me. You should always think ahead of time of where you want to put your buildings. The reason why you want to put it right here is look where he has to go to get to this spot. You know, if he wants to drop, he has to commit his entire stuff here. Whereas right here, it's on the edge, right? So he can just drop on the edge, kill us off, pick up and go. If he wants to go over here, he has to drop either here or he has to go all the way inside, and it's really hard for him to escape outside of your base. So that's generally how you want that to be played out. Alright, So getting 1-1, got my charge done. After charge, you want to make sure, also make sure you're constantly chrono boosting your Twilight Council while you're getting these research, because you want to make sure you get that charge. You can deal with the ground army pretty well. There's my Immortals adding on. I'm gonna get my Templar Archives. The Templar Archives, obviously, it would be better if I could get Storm, but there might come a time where you might have to make Archons instead. That is perfectly fine. So I see his army right here. I'm gonna go ahead and snipe off this. Very, very small. Also see these two right here. I should be warping in Zealots. And this is where you can see the negative effect of having these forward in vulnerable positions here. He's actually gonna snipe these two out before my 1-1 is done, which is unfortunate. Yeah, that's even the worst. Like in a funnel. We'll lose all that and the cost of 2 medevacs here. He does kill that off. Now, I lost 1-1. I'm gonna be rebuilding this, but he lost his pretty good chunk of army right here. That was back here. If I could back this up. He lost a pretty good chunk right here. Why? Is because of this. He's probably focusing on this a little bit too much. Maybe he forgot about his army here. So he ends up losing quite a bit of units here. What does this mean? He just lost all these units here. Because of these 2 forward units. Obviously that was a little bit good for him. That was a little bit better for him. But he still lost a lot of his units. Whereas for me, I still have most of my main army. What should be my reaction? Or my next response to this? My next response should be to just go across the map and kill him. Remember, he's been dropping, he's been harassed, he's trying to harass, and over and time and time again, it's been denied. It's been losing quite a bit of units. And, you know, there's a tally mark for every single time it happens, and eventually he's just gonna have to crack. And you could tell with this observer back over here at his base, he doesn't have that many units compared to you, so go across the map and kill him. Simple as that. Chrono boost this, and I forgot to start up Storm, even though I have enough. So here we go. Gonna harass him. Or kill him. Just way too much, way too many units. And this should be a good. I wish I could take away text. Anyways, yeah, this game was pretty weird, but I hope that this actually helps you, kind of give you a little insight of how you should try to think in PvT. Obviously, the style that I play is a little bit unorthodox and very uncommon. Right now, usually Protoss doesn't really go for very quick thirds, unless they open up Stargate into Oracle into a fast third, then I guess that can happen. But other than that, they usually don't go for that. They usually go for a passive 2-base style into a 3rd base later on in the game. But anyways, I just wanted to do a replay analysis because I haven't made any videos lately. If you have any comments or suggestions or feedbacks or anything like that, there's the comments below. Leave it over there and I'll try to get back to you as soon as possible. Anyways, so thank you to those who have been supporting me, and those who are new that are supporting me as well. Thank you very much. I do greatly appreciate every single one of you guys and gals. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.